For those that may not be familiar with the Marfa lights, they're mysterious light that people have been reporting seeing for at least 100 years. According to some, even the Indians used to see them. So anyways, so over the weekend, one of my kids and I decided to try to capture the lights, to try to take video of the lights with this new GoPro 8 Black. Because of its time-lapse features and high definition 4K, we figured we might take some interesting video, and we did. The video is pretty interesting. The actual viewing area for the Marfa lights is actually, I would say, like 10 miles outside of Marfa on Highway 67, and they have a viewing structure there that a lot of people will probably make the same mistake that I did, which is to think that the structure, the way it's set up, is pointing directly south, and it's not. It's actually something like 30 degrees off. What we did was set up the camera to point directly south, so what you see in the center of the video is south. The way the lights that you see, which I'm fairly sure are traffic lights, on the bottom right is what most people assume are the lights because of the way the structure is set up, and it points to those lights. And I was able to confirm that those were traffic lights by viewing them through the telescope, and I could see that there were two lights, headlights. So I'm fairly sure the video plus my telescope resolves those lights. They're just traffic lights. It'll be pretty obvious in the video, but the lights, the actual mysterious lights, Marfa lights, that me and my wife saw a few years ago when we stopped by, were directly south. Nothing appeared directly south this time, but back then those lights were multicolored. They were moving back and forth ever so slightly, changing colors to colors that I wouldn't even know the name of, and they just eventually faded away. But the lights in the bottom corner of the video, I have to reiterate, are not the Marfa lights. Those are obviously traffic lights. There's a red constant light in the video, which in actual life is a blinking light. I'm fairly sure that is the immigration station that's about 5 or 10 miles on Route 67 going south. Other things that you will see in the video will be what will seem to be falling stars or meteors, but they're not. They're actual satellites. Because of the time-lapse features of the camera, they skid by extremely quickly like a falling star, but in real life they were moving slowly, and they fade away or they disappear when the sunlight is no longer shining on them. You can't see them. You also see the moonrise, which will look like the sun, but again, because of the features of the camera, it looks to be extremely bright, but it's just the moon. And at times it looks like it's daytime because of the moon and because of the time-lapse features. But we actually started shooting around 9:30, maybe a little bit closer to 10, and we stopped a little bit after 12. And you also see people with flashlights walking around. And this time it was pretty crowded. I would say at least 50 people, if not more, were there. There have been times that it's just me, or it's just me and my wife. When we saw the lights, I think there were other people there, if I remember correctly. But unfortunately, we were not able to capture the lights, but I still think the video is pretty interesting. I'm going to include some of the video of us getting there, our trip there, because I really like the landscape of West Texas. The West Texas desert, at least in my opinion, is one of the more beautiful deserts.